Hello everyone and welcome to this exciting tutorial where I will show you how to create a very powerful real-time chat application without using an external service like Firebase and from scratch. We will cover both the front end and the back end. We will use React with Vite to create a powerful user interface, and we will use Socket.io, which is a powerful library that you can use to create a real-time system in a very short time, in a very simple way. Install Speed Setup CLI. Speed is a tool that can help you to set up your TypeScript and Node.js environment quickly and easily. So I'm going to install Speed, and to install Speed we just need to run npm install g speed setup CLI. So now Speed will be installed and I will be able to set up my TypeScript and Node.js environment. So to run Speed I just need to click Speed. So I will give the name, backend for the project, and the SRC, the entry file. I need everything, so I will click to yes, and I will choose ES module. So now Speed is installing all the dependency that I need in my project, and I just need to wait a little bit, wait for all the dependency to be installed. So now the installation is done. I just need to run like Speed said, cd backend npm run build and npm start. So cd backend npm run build and npm start. So now I can see my project, my backend running on this port. So okay, my project is running perfectly. So I will open this folder in Visual Studio Code, and I will start editing the file. So what we don't need is this get method. We don't need that. I'm going to delete that. And we install one dependency called Socket.io, because we will use Socket.io to create our project. So I'm going to install Socket.io. I can do that even here. You go to the terminal in your project and click npm install Socket.io. Okay, now Socket.io will be installed. Okay, now Socket.io is installed. I will just import Socket. I will import server from Socket.io, and I will import create server, a method called create server. Import create server from HTTP, and I will start by creating the server. Okay, constant server is equal to create server. Okay, now I'm going to create the Socket.io instance that we call IO. Constant IO is equal to new server of the server. Okay. Okay, now I have created the Socket.io instance. I need to create the method that will allow me to listen when someone connect to the system, when someone connect to the socket, and I can get the user's socket ID, socket informations, and run this information and do what I want with this information, like the socket ID. If I want to save the socket ID, I will just use this socket instance, this IO instance. So firstly, I will start by taking that instance called IO, and I will add some method in it. IO.on. I will listen to the connection that we call IO.on connection. I will listen to the connection, and when someone will connect, this event will be a meet, because I'm listening to the connection event. And secondly, I will take the socket, and I can do anything I want with the socket. I can do, for example, console.log of the client connected. So now I will listen to a method that I will create, a method called registration. To listen to the registration when a socket emits a registration, I just need to take this socket, because the socket that I have taken parameter is the user that is going to connect, the user that is currently connected to the socket. So I just need to take that user using socket, and I will take a method called on registration, user dot on registration, to listen to the method that I will create, my own method registration. Socket dot on registration. Okay, this is my own method, but the connection method is not my own method. It is an event emitted by socket dialog when someone connect to the system. So I'm creating my own method called registration. So I'm going to listen to that event by using socket dot on registration. So when someone register, I just want one information from that user, but you can take any information you want. I will just take the username. Okay, the username, which is a string, and now I'm listening to registration. I'm just going to make sure that the name of the event is the same, and I'm going to listen to registration, and I will take the username of the connected user. So I will do console.log user has joined the chat. So I'm going to create a global chat that everyone will join, and I will explain to you how you can easily put someone in a chat, or how we can easily create rooms. So I'm going to create a global room, because we call that room, and that room will be called global room. Global room is equal to global room. So this is the name of the global room that everyone will join, and I'm going to listen to registration. When someone register, I will put that user in that global room. So I will just use the socket because the socket is the user. Socket.join global room. So now the user will join the global room, and I'm going to emit a message I'm going to log socket.log user has joined the global room, and I'm going to announce all the users in that room that one user has joined the global room. And I will use IO, because IO is currently the socket. The WebSocket instance will emit an event. That event will announce to all the users in the room that one user has joined the global room, and that event will be a new user join. Okay, I will take the IO that on that to global room emit new user join. So everyone will knows that one user has joined that room, and I will go ahead and add another event. I'm going to listen to another event. That event will be the message. When someone sends the message in the system, I need to listen to that message. So I will use the socket because it's the user that sent the message. So the user is the socket. So I'm going to use the socket.on, and the message method is my own method. So I will just put token.on message. I will take the message, and I'm going to create a model for that message. So the message will follow a standard, and in the message I want some information like the username, the message content, and the timestamp. Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder called model, and I'm going to add a model.tsx file. So in the model I will export an interface called message, and in the message I want the username. Okay, the username of the sender. Okay, we can call him the sender, the username, the something, but I'm going to use the sender. Okay, we need the sender, which is a string. We need the content of the message and the timestamp. So the timestamp is not an obligation. The timestamp is optional because the server will give the timestamp. Okay, we'll assign a timestamp to a message. So I'm going to take the message. The message must be of type message. So when I receive the message, the next thing that I will do is to send the message in the group. But I will firstly log that one message will receive. User sender sent a message. So now I'm going to emit that message in the global room. So the event will be IO to global room emit. The event name will be message received. So when we receive a message, when we listen to that event, it means someone has sent the message, and we will handle all there's a method in the front end, because we will listen to there's a message in the front end, and we will update the UI in order to display the message that we receive with the name of the sender and some information about the message, like the content and the time. Okay, so now we are handling message, we are receiving message and emitting message using this method. The first thing that you need to remember is that socket is the user and IO is the instance of WebSocket that we are using now. The instance of WebSocket is the server that is currently running, and the socket that we take in parameter is the user that is connected to the user that is currently connected to the server, and that user is a socket, and in the socket we have some information like the ID. So I'm going to emit when someone will connect to the socket, I'm going to show the ID of that socket. So the ID of the socket is handled by socket.io. Is create a random and secure ID that you can use to identify one user, and you can do what you want with this library. You can do everything you want because it's fully customizable. You can put some security process in order to make sure that only legit people can discuss in one room. You can divide the room and do what you want with that. But I will just show what is important to know about this library. And the second thing that I'm going to do is to listen to this connection. When someone disconnect, socket dot on socket, I will take the socket because it's the user that will disconnect to the server. So when a user disconnect to the server, I will log socket dot on disconnect. Customer client disconnecting with the socket ID, and I will send a message to the room using io.toRoom.emit user left to let everyone knows that one user has left the room. And I'm going to listen to errors because sometimes errors can happen, and I need to listen to this error. So I'm going to listen to the error. I will take the error and do a console.error of the error. So now we can say that our server is ready because we have put some essential things that we need to have in a WebSocket connection, because socket.io use WebSocket connection. And instead of using the app to listen to that spore, we will not use the app because the app is currently expressed. We will use the server which is the global server that includes Express and socket.io server. So our project is quick, good, and we can start showing what we can do in the front end. Okay, now let's go to the front end. So in the front end, you can see I have already created a front end using React, Vite, and TypeScript. And in this front end, you can find a single code, okay, a single file that I use to handle registration and when someone sends a message. So the first thing that you will notice is that the socket is receiving some information. The socket will start receiving informations when I will give my name. Okay. So I'm going to explain what do this code. So the first thing that we have in the code is the socket client. You need to install the socket.io client. So you will just import IO from socket.io client. Okay. When you install socket.io client, you will use the IO. So you will create the socket because when when you create a WebSocket connection, it's just a message that you will send to a port when your socket is running. You can, for example, take this. I'm creating the socket using the WebSocket client server port. Okay, this is the address of the server, the WebSocket server, and I will just do constant socket.io of this server. If there is an error, I will receive an error that the server can't be reached, and I'm going to go back to the backend and add something. I will allow any instance of server to connect to this socket by allowing course. So I'm allowing a message. I'm allowing everyone to send a message to that server using these parameters called core. So now we will see that our server is receiving a message. I'm going to allow some method like get and post. Okay, I'm going to stop the server and update the server state. npm run build and npm start. Okay, now our server is receiving a message that someone is currently connected to the socket, and I'm going to use my front end to send the message to handle registration and so on. So in the front end, we have some data like the socket. The socket is currently the user that we connect to the WebSocket server, and we have a use effect. That use effect help us to listen properly to data. When someone sends a message, when someone receives a message, we will use the use effect to listen to the message using the socket. Okay, the socket method. So this we will firstly listen to connection. Socket dot on connection, it will send a log that the user is currently connected to the server. And we have the handle message method. The handle message will help us to receive the message. When we receive the message using the socket dot on message received, this is the method that we created in the backend. Okay, I'm going to make sure the method is the same, the name is the same. Socket dot on message received, so it must be the same. So now we listen on message socket dot on message received. When we receive a message, we will handle that message with this function. This function helps us to handle a message. You will just put console.log handling message, and you will check if the current message sender is the same that the current user that is sending the message. If it is the same, you will just return, because you don't want to receive your own message, and we don't want to have a lot of duplicated message in the system. So after that, I will handle check. This handle check method help us to see if there is duplicated message. Okay, and if there is duplicated message, one message will be deleted. And this method set message help us to update our user state. We update the message that will be displayed in the front end. And we have another method, register. That method allows us to register a user, and when we will call that method, you will see that in the server log, we will see one information about the user that is currently logging to the system. And we have a component that help us for registration. This is the component, and to test it, we will just enter the name. I'm going to enter my name, Donna. I'm going to register. Now you can see the server say that I'm currently registered. So user Donna has joined the chat. So I'm currently in the chat, and I can send a message, for example, hello. Okay. Okay, the server has received my message. User Donna has sent a message, hello. So now I'm going to in order to see if everything is working in a proper way, I will create another. I will open another browser in order to see how does it works. So I'm going to open the local host at the port, and I will simulate another connected user in the socket. So this is the other connected user in the socket. So I will just enter the name, for example, RV, and now I'm connected as RV. So I can send the message in the chat. You can see that I have received the message at the same time, and I can reply, how are you? I am fine. So you can see that the connection is bidirectional and I'm receiving the message at the same time. I'm sending message and receiving that at the same time. And this is how you can create your powerful web application for real-time communication. And I will show you how you can listen to other informations, like when someone joined the chat or when someone left the chat. So to do that, you just need to listen on the information that on the event that we created in the backend. So the name of the event is new user join. So we will listen to new user join. So I'm going to add in our front end another method called new user join. So I'm going to listen to that. I will put socket.on new user join. When someone will join the chat, I will send an alert. Okay, I can take, for example, the username. I think this is the info that the backend gives. Okay, I will take the username of the user in parameter as a string, and I'm going to update the state. Okay. So when a new user join, I will just send an alert that a new user has joined the chat. I will send an alert new user joined the chat, and I will listen to when someone will left the chat. So get that on user left. User left is the method that helps us to identify when someone left the chat. So we'll take the username. I don't know if we are sending the username, and we will send an alert that one user has left. So with this update, we will see some changes. Okay, I'm going to reload both servers, and I'm going to enter again my name. My name is Donna, and I want to discuss with, okay, you can see the message here, new user joined, because the server is emitting an event to let me know that one user has joined the chat, and I have received that message that I have joined the chat with my name. And we will register another user called RV, and you can see that Donna has received a message that one user has joined the chat, and the name of that user is RV. And this is how bidirectional connection works. So you can see that RV has received a message that one user has joined, and Donna has received a message. I'm going to send again a message in order to make sure that everything is working perfectly. So I just wanted to show you how you can create bidirectional connection, how you can create real-time application with Socket.io and TypeScript. If you have some questions or if you have some troubles, if you don't really understand what I'm saying, just let a comment and I will try to explain better how the system works. And it was a pleasure to explain to you how real-time connection works using Socket.io and TypeScript, and see you in the next video. Merveille, tu dis quoi?